Now, this isn't the first time I've worn this suit, with the same gold tie and the same maroon shirt. No, the first time I ever wore this suit was at a high school basketball game. Now, I should probably tell you that I was there to report for our school newspaper. And I should probably also mention that sometimes I like to dress to impress. Anyway, as I passed the opposite student section on my way to my seat, a student, painted black with a gold stripe down his chest, leaned forward and said, "Excuse me, sir, are you aware that your team is gay?" Whoa. I was kind of surprised, but I laughed a little and said, "Excuse me, sir, would that be a problem?" Today I've entered this Rotary four-way speech contest to make a call to action against derogatory speech. I will take this focal ignorance and put it to the Rotary four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And finally, is it beneficial to all concerned? In my first area of analysis, we will further examine the truth behind what people say. With that being said, rash generalizations and all-purpose truths are two separate things. For example, let's take the current generalization that African Americans are uneducated in comparison to their Caucasian counterparts. While one will be quick to point out that the labor force has been largely dominated by whites, recent trends indicate a radical change is on the horizon. One of the Department of Labor's updated statistics shows that while the number of African Americans in the workforce who have college degrees still trails those of whites, the number is growing exponentially faster than the rate of whites. This means that the African American demographic on the whole is furthering their education. For further proof this statistic is changing, observe the percentage of both demographics working in local, state, and federal government. 2011 represented the first year in history that a higher percentage of working African Americans were involved with politics, at 20%, in comparison to Caucasians, who only had 14.2% of their working force in politics. Now, we can see this radical change through our current president, Barack Obama, who qualifies as the first African American president in U.S. history. So to make the generalization that African Americans are uneducated would be completely remiss, and therefore derogatory statements are not necessarily the truth. Moving along, we can be quick to say that derogatory statements are not fair to all concerned. Another one of society's stinging statements stems from modern sexism. One of my best friends, who happens to be a girl, was asked her sophomore year by a boy to make him a pie and do a woman's work. She did it. And when I asked her why, she said, "Everybody else seems to think it's my job too." Did he make her a pie? Was the favor returned with gratitude and respect? Doubtful, considering the question itself lacked both of those qualifications. To answer in short, derogatory statements cannot possibly be fair to all concerned when some parties involved can become bashed, hurt, and in the case for my friend, abused. Next, we ask the question, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Might I answer a question by returning a question? I'd ask, how is calling somebody something offensive built a better friendship? In fact, according to Jan Yeager, who holds a PhD in psychology and is the author of the book When Friendship Hurts, stereotypes and derogatory statements are one of the leading reasons why friendships end, falling second to jealousy. No relationships of any kind can possibly thrive off of stereotypes and name-calling, and therefore derogatory statements do not build goodwill and better friendships, but just cause the opposite. Finally, we ask, is it beneficial to all concerned? Now, I'm going to answer this question with a quick anecdote before concluding my speech today. Since the second grade, I have lived down the street from a mentally handicapped girl, and I have seen her work hard at trying to integrate with society like anybody else. She's been at homecoming with a date, outside playing softball, and sitting on her front porch waving to just about anybody who passes by. But the condition only allows so much. It inhibits her motor skills, her speech abilities, and unfortunately, her goal to fit in. So one day, about 2 years ago, I passed her by in the hallway. A senior that grew impatient of walking behind her zipped in front, shouting, "Move faster, you retard!" I had to do a double take. You see, I never really realized until that very moment that derogatory statements are a current and legitimate issue. the girl didn't let it go. She was crying at lunch that day, sitting with her aide, who was trying her best to console her. The worst part of the matter was the boy who said the comment didn't even get any tangible benefit from saying it. The result is that nobody really wins in this situation, as nobody truly benefits from derogatory speech. Now, it was then that I realized that we needed a call to action. Ever since, I have completely eradicated the word retarded from my vocabulary, as well as gay and any racial slang I could possibly think of. I try to put an end to this ignorance when I catch it, such as in the case of the Falls student. I believe there is hope that one day, most of these statements will become taboo, and the hope I have was verified that Friday night in our school's crowded gymnasium. He asked me to repeat what I said, so I said it again. Would that be a problem? You know, if my team was gay? He became confused for a moment, lost for words and lost for a response. No, he stammered. I guess it wouldn't. I've made 2 calls to action in 2 separate places in this suit, and hopefully the second works just as well. Thank you.